Summary of Holmes, Marple and Poe, the greatest crime-solving team of the 21st century, written by Brian Sitz, James Patterson. Chapter 1. Gretchen Wick, a determined realtor, found herself in the challenging task of selling a vacant industrial space in the trendy Bushwick neighborhood of Brooklyn. The area was rapidly gentrifying, but this particular building seemed to defy the positive trend. As Gretchen sat at her sales table, the worn wood floors and flaking brick walls appeared to mock her efforts. With 5 hours of no visitors and a property in need of extensive renovation, she was losing hope. As the clock ticked down, Gretchen's anticipation heightened. Just when it seemed her open house was destined to be a failure, the front door swung open. A voice echoed through the entry hall, breaking the silence. "Hello?" Gretchen's pulse quickened, and she eagerly rose from her chair. As she approached the door, a tall, light-skinned man in a camel overcoat greeted her. "It's you," he exclaimed, pointing at the sales sign featuring Gretchen's face. "Right." "Yes," she replied, extending her hand. "Gretchen Wick, Lexington Realty." The man introduced himself as Brendan Holmes, revealing his expensive attire and refined taste. Though uncertain if he was genuinely interested or just a looky-loo, Gretchen welcomed the potential opportunity. Before she could delve deeper into conversation, the door opened once again, revealing a fit, compact man with wavy, dark hair and a thin mustache. Gretchen noticed his brooding yet rakish demeanor. "You're in luck," she declared, introducing herself to Auguste Poe. The day was starting to look up with 2 prospects in tow. As the trio entered the main space, Gretchen launched into her well-practiced sales pitch. She detailed the property's late 19th century construction, slate roof, terracotta details, and original skylights. Just as she began to make her case, another interruption came from the door, this time in the form of a charming British woman. With a British accent and an air of sophistication, she inquired if she had missed the open house. Gretchen, now brimming with excitement, greeted the new arrival. The sudden turn of events from having 0 prospects to 3 potential buyers injected renewed energy into her sales efforts. The British woman, whose name remained unknown, added an intriguing dynamic to the mix. With the diverse group assembled in the spacious industrial space, Gretchen adjusted her approach. She tailored her spiel to captivate each potential buyer, emphasizing the property's unique features and the burgeoning trendiness of Bushwick. Brendan Holmes listened intently, displaying interest in the property's potential. Auguste Poe, with his soft voice and slightly intoxicated demeanor, seemed captivated by the historical charm. The mysterious British woman observed with a keen eye, her questions suggesting a genuine curiosity about the property. As Gretchen continued her presentation, weaving through the expansive space, the interactions among the potential buyers added layers to the scene. Brendan and Auguste exchanged glances, and the British woman occasionally interjected with insightful questions. Gretchen, sensing the chemistry among the trio, became increasingly optimistic about the prospect of closing a deal. The industrial space, once cold and lifeless, now echoed with the sound of conversation and footsteps. The atmosphere shifted from desolation to potential opportunity. Gretchen, seizing the moment, decided to encourage a more interactive approach. She invited the potential buyers to envision their own renovations and shared anecdotes of successful transformations in similar properties. The group explored the 2 levels, with Gretchen highlighting the architectural details that could be preserved and the scope for modern enhancements. The camaraderie among the potential buyers grew, creating a sense of shared excitement about the untapped potential of the space. The British woman, in particular, demonstrated a keen eye for design and a pragmatic understanding of the real estate market. As the tour progressed, Gretchen noticed subtle shifts in the dynamics among the trio. Brendan, previously reserved, began expressing ideas about transforming the space into a creative studio. Auguste, despite his initial stoicism, revealed a passion for historical preservation and suggested ways to maintain the property's authenticity. The British woman, with her discerning gaze, provided valuable insights into market trends and potential resale values. The once unsellable industrial space now seemed to evolve into a canvas of possibilities. Gretchen, recognizing the unique synergy among the potential buyers, started envisioning the successful sale of the property. The diverse perspectives and ideas brought forth by Brendan, Auguste, and the British woman formed a compelling narrative of transformation and revitalization. As the open house neared its conclusion, Gretchen felt a renewed sense of accomplishment. The challenges of selling the vacant industrial space had transformed into an unexpected opportunity for collaboration and creativity. The once cold building now resonated with the warmth of shared visions and potential partnerships. In the closing moments of the open house, Gretchen gathered the group near the entrance. She thanked them for their time and enthusiasm, expressing her eagerness to further discuss the property's potential. The trio exchanged contact information, signaling the beginning of a promising journey towards transforming the vacant industrial space into a thriving and vibrant establishment. As the last visitor left, Gretchen reflected on the remarkable turn of events. What started as a seemingly unproductive day had blossomed into a story of unexpected connections and shared aspirations. The challenges of selling the rundown industrial space had given way to a narrative of revitalization and community building. With renewed optimism, Gretchen looked forward to the next chapter in the unfolding story of the vacant industrial space in Bushwick. Chapter 2. Gretchen guided the three potential buyers, Holmes, Marple, and Poe, through the empty space, hoping to make a positive impression. She quickly assessed the new arrival, noting the practical and refined appearance. However, her attempt to focus on their names was interrupted by Holmes, who diverted the conversation with an abrupt question about the property's recent price drop. Ignoring Gretchen's attempts to redirect, Holmes shifted his attention to a peculiar smell in the air. Gretchen found herself on the defensive, explaining that the building used to be a bakery, possibly explaining the lingering scent. Holmes, however, dismissed her explanation, identifying the odor as polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, commonly found in black inks used in tattoo parlors. As Holmes investigated the source of the smell, the group approached a large factory window, revealing a less than ideal view of a dilapidated neighboring building. Gretchen, trying to regain control of the tour, suggested exploring the second floor. Poe, ever the gentleman, gestured for the ladies to go first, and they ascended a rusty metal staircase. The second floor mirrored the emptiness of the first, scattered with abandoned office furniture. While Gretchen attempted to answer questions and provide information, Holmes scrutinized the materials used in the construction, Poe examined dusty shelves, and Marple explored a newspaper clipping Poe had discovered. Holmes, meticulous and detail-oriented, identified the floor slope, measuring it with a small metal ball. Gretchen struggled to balance the varying interests of her prospects, Holmes's precision, Marple's quiet thoughtfulness, and Poe's enigmatic demeanor. Suddenly, Poe exclaimed, holding up a yellowed newspaper clipping. The headline revealed a dark history, a murder that occurred in the building in 1954. A young girl's throat had been slit on the floor below them. Shocked, Marple expressed sympathy for the victim, while Holmes demanded to see the evidence. As the group examined the newspaper clipping together, Gretchen felt the weight of a potentially ruined sale. Poe explained the tragic event, and Gretchen admitted she had heard rumors, but hadn't expected it to surface during the showing. Holmes insisted that the historical fact was not a mere rumor but a documented event in black and white. Facing the reality of selling a property with such a grim history, Gretchen mentally recalculated the asking price. The atmosphere grew tense as the three prospects turned towards her simultaneously, their expressions a mixture of concern and curiosity. Holmes, the epitome of analytical thinking, broke the silence. How does this affect the price? Gretchen hesitated but decided to be transparent. I hadn't planned on this revelation, but I'm willing to negotiate. I understand the gravity of such a history. Poe, whose demeanor had been difficult to read, surprised everyone by nodding thoughtfully. History adds character to a place, he said cryptically. Marple, ever empathetic, suggested that it was crucial to acknowledge and respect the past while looking towards the future. Holmes, seemingly unbothered by the revelation, continued his inspection. The floor slope is a concern, but it can be fixed. And the smell, well, it's not a deal-breaker for the right buyer. Gretchen, grateful for their pragmatic responses, led them to the rest of the property, providing additional information about potential renovations and improvements. As they explored further, the conversation shifted away from the dark history and focused on the property's potential. By the end of the tour, Gretchen felt a surprising sense of relief. Despite the unexpected revelation, the prospects remained interested. Poe, Marple, and Holmes exchanged contact information and assured Gretchen they would discuss their decision as a group. As they left, Holmes turned back and said, "Don't worry too much about the history. In the right hands, this place could become something remarkable." Gretchen, still processing the whirlwind showing, realized that the potential buyers were unique, each bringing a distinct perspective. She couldn't predict their decision, but she hoped they saw beyond the building's dark past and recognized the possibilities it held. As she closed the door behind them, Gretchen reflected on the unpredictability of real estate. Every property had a story, and sometimes those stories had unexpected twists. It was her job to navigate these twists, turning challenges into opportunities. The fate of the property now rested in the hands of Holmes, Marple, and Poe, a trio connected not only by their interest in the building but by the unexpected revelation that had brought them together. Chapter 3. As the crisp linen suit-clad Poe exited the newly renovated bakery building, he couldn't help but admire the gold leaf lettering on the front door. Holmes, Marple and Poe Investigations now adorned the entrance in a classic font, marking a significant upgrade for the newly legitimized detective agency. Today, Poe believed, would be the day they etched their names onto the map of notable investigators. His gaze lingered on the lettering as he waited impatiently for his partners. Poe strolled towards the bakery's former loading bay, where his pride and joy, a 1966 Pontiac GTO in Montero red, awaited. The muscle car, with its tri-power upgrade and XS Ram Air package, was Poe's latest obsession. Despite the exorbitant garage fees in Brooklyn, Poe rotated his impressive collection of cars according to his mood. Margaret Marple, adorned in a neat business jacket and skirt, joined Poe outside the office door, expressing her disdain for the imposing Pontiac. "Good God, Auguste, what is that monstrosity?" she exclaimed. "It rides as smooth as a town car, I promise you," Poe reassured her, aware of her preference for more discreet transportation. "I'll wrinkle my outfit, folding myself into that thing," Marple replied with a frown. "Margaret, you need to be more flexible," Brendan Holmes chimed in, exiting the door right behind her. Adjusting his suit jacket, he inspected the Pontiac with curiosity. "Let's go," Poe exclaimed, sliding into the driver's seat. The powerful Pontiac, though a mechanical marvel, offered no advantage during the torturous crosstown drive to One Police Plaza. The trio could feel the tension in the air as their plan hinged on a meeting with the notoriously hard-to-corner police commissioner Jacques Boulin, recently appointed by New York City Mayor Felix Rollins. As they navigated the congested Brooklyn streets, Poe sensed the nervous energy of his partners. The topic of their meeting was the mysterious disappearance of Sloane Stone, a young black attorney. Her impressive resume, featuring an Ivy League education and a promising legal career, echoed in Poe's mind as he drove. The pressure on the NYPD, particularly Commissioner Boulin, was escalating due to Sloane's unexplained absence. The new investigative firm had received an anonymous tip that promised to shake up the entire city. Poe couldn't help but steal glances in the rearview mirror as Marple updated herself on the latest reports using her iPhone. "Any breakthroughs?" Poe inquired. "The authorities are still baffled," Marple reported. "Good," Holmes interjected. "We're not." Crossing the Brooklyn Bridge into Manhattan, Poe felt a fresh tingle of anticipation. This was it, their first high-profile case, and they were determined to break it wide open, even if they hadn't been officially hired. The missing attorney, Sloane Stone, with her bright eyes and infectious smile, had been missing for 2 weeks without a trace. The narrative hinted at a potential turning point as the trio aimed to confront Commissioner Boulin with their findings. The anticipation grew as they reached One Police Plaza, ready for a critical face-to-face with Boulin. The commissioner, a hard-nosed cop and savvy political operator, was a formidable adversary. However, armed with meticulous research and a compelling anonymous tip, Holmes, Marple and Poe Investigations were ready to challenge the status quo. The narrative painted a vivid picture of Poe's passion for mechanical marvels, especially muscle cars, providing insights into his character. Marple's neat business attire and preference for more subtle transportation added a touch of contrast, while Holmes appeared to be the composed and detail-oriented member of the trio. The overarching mystery of Sloane Stone's disappearance added depth to the plot, presenting an opportunity for the investigative team to showcase their skills. The story set the stage for a compelling and suspenseful narrative, leaving readers eager to uncover the secrets behind Sloane's vanishing act and the impact it would have on the newly established detective agency.